Please give him a round of applause.
Woo!
He's a singer-songwriter. Follow him on YouTube and Insta at Ronnie Sounds so he can get paid by YouTube. Our DJ tonight is X-Trilly Trill, aka Boy Wrestler. Please give him a round of applause. He's used to playing alternative bangers to all those vegan hipsters in the inner west. So he's looking forward to dropping some dope meats for all you meat eaters out there tonight. He's X-Trillium's on SoundCloud, or if you want to see him body slam someone, you can follow him at Boy Wrestler on Insta.
Yeah.
On.
Must be.
Okay, we're straight and level. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to need help from all of you. So let's kick off the party atmosphere in here and make our bridal party feel welcome. Please make some noise for our bridesmaids. We have Griselda, Lisa, and Avery! Okay, now please get up for our groomsmen, Andre, Bryce, and Tom. Lastly, the reason we are all here tonight, let's welcome 2018's newest bride and groom, Sikrasta and Michael Sikrasta. Now that the bridal party has been welcomed, I'd like to introduce some very important people, because without them we wouldn't be here today. Parents of the bride, Teresa and Wilfred Crasta. Please give them a round of applause. Married for 38 years, they've come all the way from Padstow here tonight. I'd like to introduce parents of the groom, Anna and Stan Sikora. Please give them a round of applause. Although separated, an unbreakable bond exists between them through their love for their two children, Patricia and Michael. Just quickly, I received a text message from Michael's friend Andy that unfortunately wasn't able to attend tonight, and he wanted me to read this out. Dear Michael and Charlene, to say that we are disappointed to miss your special day is a massive understatement. Luckily for us though, when you Insta story every course of the meal, it will feel like we're there. We wish you the grandest of days and a lifetime full of happiness. No doubt Charlene looks amazing, and we're sure you look too good. You know, you look pretty good too, sicko. We'll be toasting you from afar. Much love, Andy and Brioni. Oh. Right. Honestly, tonight's turnout couldn't have been better. Charlene's and Michael's family and friends have travelled from all across the globe to celebrate with us tonight, something that is very special. We have friends all the way from the Central Coast. Please give them a round of applause.
Hey.
The Central Coast is famous for its astonishing diversity. Its population consists of 95% Anglo-Saxon and 5% non-specified Asian. A true slice of heaven. Some call this area God's country, but in reality, with all the nursing homes up there, it's probably more like God's waiting room. Not many of you know this, but I enjoy keeping up to date with the news regarding the local council amalgamations in New South Wales. If you reflect on the minutes from the latest Central Coast Council meeting, you will note that a safe injecting room was proposed for the Central Coast. The member for Long Jetty said, "Why limit yourself to just a room?" Anyway, I shouldn't be too harsh on them. A very good percentage of my friends are from the Central Coast. 0%. We have friends all the way from the Northern Beaches. Please make them feel welcome. Of course, the Northern Beaches needs no introduction. It's surrounded by sun, sand, yoga, and those with self-diagnosed celiac disease. Despite the vast number of gluten-free cafes on the Northern Beaches, according to the Australian Medical Association, only 1% of the population are actually allergic to gluten, and the remaining 99% of the population are sick of hearing about it. Northern Beaches is also used as a backdrop to Australia's most famous Logie Award-winning and internationally exported soap drama, Home and Away. But did you know that during the show's initial production, it wasn't called Home and Away? It was later changed to that when it went to air. Many have speculated as to why its name changed. Presumably this was because Pile of Shit was already taken.
Real talk.
We have friends all the way from Campbelltown. Please make them feel welcome. Oh, here we go. Campbelltown always gets a bit of a bad rap. It's a place synonymous with bogan cuisine. Sizzler, Hog's Breath, and the Black Stump are all iconic food landmarks of the area. This all makes sense now because the aftermath of eating at Sizzler is usually Hog's Breath or a Black Stump. Recently I was speaking to a mother from Campbelltown and she complained to me that every time she visits MacArthur Square, the parents with prams parking is always taken. And I said to her, yeah, but the parents with jobs parking is always taken. I shouldn't be too harsh on her. After all, she is a mother. It's also really hard to find full-time employment when you're 13.
Real talk. Real shit.
We have friends all the way from Ryde here tonight. Please give them a hand.
Yeah.
What I love most about Ryde is the number of rides within Ryde. Of course there is Ryde, which is separate to East Ryde, North Ryde, West Ryde, Top Ryde. But don't be ridiculous, there is no South Ryde. In 1990, one of Ryde's most notable residents, Iggy Azalea, was born. And shortly after her birth, she moved to Mullumbimby, near the New South Wales-Queensland border. Strangely enough, Ryde and Mullumbimby have more in common than you think. The name Mullumbimby roughly translates to small round hill, whereas the name Ryde roughly translates to no public transport. According to the Daily Telegraph, Mullumbimby and Ryde are both experiencing soaring crime rates, especially relating to drug offences. Whereas in Mullumbimby, it is common to see a junkie sink their teeth into some pie face, whereas in Ryde, it is common to see a junkie sink their teeth into a child's face. If you aren't from Ryde, you're definitely not going to understand the difference. We have family all the way from Singapore tonight. Please give them a round of applause. of the only places on earth where you can buy a 500ml Yakult bottle. To give you an idea of how large that is, the standard Yakult size sold everywhere else in the world is 65 mils. And let me tell you, if you need 7.69 times the amount of probiotics to maintain a healthy digestive tract, maybe Singapore, it's time to change your diet. We have a family member all the way from Townsville with us tonight. Please give them a round of applause. Townsville was first founded in 1865, and in 2015 the Cowboys won their first NRL Grand Final. Between those two dates, nothing else worth mentioning has happened. But do you want to know what the best and worst thing about Townsville is? Bob Katter is your federal member. Australia's political manifestation of heat stroke. When Clive Palmer's nickel refinery went bankrupt, Bob Katter was famously quoted as saying, "I knew Clive from when we were both kicked out of university as young blokes. And believe it or not, Clive's been in worse holes." So interpret that how you wish. Last but not least, we have family all the way from India here tonight. Please give them a hand. I'm so impressed to see so many of you here tonight, but I do wonder who's manning the 7-Elevens.
Yeah, he did.
Apparently, Milton Bradley's famous game Snakes and Ladders was based on an ancient Indian board game called Moksha Padam, designed to educate children about karma and achieving salvation through good deeds. This differs to Mattel's famous game Uno, which educates children that life can be turned upside down in an instant. Nothing quite like hitting your 6-year-old niece with 6 draw 4s, 2 skips and a reverse. Interesting fact I heard recently, did you know that in the USA, Indians are actually banned from playing Uno? That's because they're always stealing the green cards. A big congratulations to everyone here on being here tonight. We have found one of the last remaining bookstores on Earth. And if you haven't already realised, you have been seated according to the Dewey Decimal System, a system which arranges books based on the concepts of relative location and relative dating. It may be difficult to wrap your mind around these concepts, but relative location is quite different to relative dating. For example, relative location is like this. We have the Sikrasta relatives here, we have the Sikrasta relatives here, and we have the relatives that don't matter way up the back. Don't be offended, relatives at the back. You need to remember Charlene is the youngest out of 60 cousins just on her dad's side. So just be glad you even have a seat tonight. And of course, how can I forget, relative dating is what happens in Bankstown.
Yeah, we got applause. That's nice. Excellent.
I bloody love Australia. If you look around the room tonight, you will see people of all ages, from all walks of life, from all ethnic backgrounds, coming together to celebrate true love. Where else in the world are you going to find a Polish-Indian wedding in an antique bookstore located on a 200-year-old Georgian estate built using convict stone and labour? The world works in mysterious ways. At this point of the evening, I would like to acknowledge a special group of people, because without them, this wedding might not have been possible. Thank you to the Australian Liberal Party. We might not have been celebrating this marriage here tonight had it not been for your failed border protection policies. And for that, we give thanks. As an MC, it's fun to look into the crowd and speculate which guests belong to which family. And speaking from experience and as someone with Polish heritage, you can always tell who the Polish people are at the party. That's usually because they're the drunkest.
Fucking Lordy.
Once you've established who belongs to the Sikrasta side, you can then determine who belongs to the Sikrasta side.
Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose my point is, it shouldn't be too hard to connect the dots. So, so just because Polish people are usually the drunkest, that doesn't mean Indians don't know how to party. Quite the contrary. I have had some wild nights out with my friends from the subcontinent. The last time I partied with Indians, I snorted so much curry powder that I ended up in a coma. And that caused a lot of family tension with my Nan family. When I started writing this monologue, I heard an interesting story about Michael's father, Stan, that I wanted to share with all of you. So many years ago, Stan decided that he wanted to get fit and lose some weight. So he flew all the way to Poland and signed up to a camp specialising in weight loss. And I found this really intriguing, so I asked him, why Poland? Why not just get fit here? And he said to me, Polish camps have a really good reputation. To which I responded, do they? I would now like to turn your attention to these handsome gentlemen sitting up here. Please give them a round of applause. We've got Michael, Bryce and Tom. And of course, I almost forgot about Dre. For someone named Dre, really, I was expecting more. When I look at this Dre, I don't really think gangster. I think IT service desk. He definitely didn't teach me how to smoke trees. He's more like, can you try restart the PCs? Of course, every Dre needs a white sidekick. So Bryce, I guess that makes you Eminem. Or in your case, not so Slim Shady. Anyway, Michael, I think it's the right time to kind of clean out your closet here. My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why your dad has been hiding a family secret. I found fan mail addressed to Slim Shady in his room. It was signed off, truly yours, your biggest fan, this is Stan. Lastly, we have Michael's cousin Tom, who told me he was a big fan of the game. And initially I thought he was talking about the G-Unit rapper. But then halfway through the conversation I realised the game he was talking about was chess. So of course Tom then challenged me to a game. I said, okay, but let's make this more interesting. So we stopped playing chess. Anyway, I swore an oath not to share this information with you. But as a tribute to the game, of course I'm going to share this with you. When Michael and Tom were young, they both used to have baths with each other. Hated and loved it. When I found out about these shared baths, I immediately reported it to Cricket Australia. I couldn't sleep at night knowing that my close friend Michael could also be caught up in that ball tampering scandal. I would now like to turn your attention to our stunning bride of the evening. It is no secret that Charlene loves Instagram and loves a good hashtag. On the 29th of December 2017, Charlene posted a photo to Instagram of Michael walking down Kingscliff Beach in ankle-deep water with the caption, I like long walks on the beach, hashtag found my dream guy. If only we could all be so lucky. I know I haven't hashtag found my dream guy yet. He definitely exists. He's out there, longing for my embrace. So this got me thinking, how many people on Twitter have actually used this specific hashtag? So let's find out, shall we? 15th of June 2013, @Chandra Carlson tweeted this after watching 50 Shades of Grey. Mr. Grey prefers brunettes who like to eat. Take that, skinny bitches. Hashtag found my dream guy. December 2011, at K and Lassiter tweeted, "Drake is Jewish?" Hashtag found my dream guy. 10th of February 2016, at Marie Ortega tweeted a photo of her rearview mirror with a white car in the reflection, followed by the caption, "Babe is so old school, I love it. He followed me home at 2 a.m. and he lives 45 minutes away. Hashtag found my dream guy." Or like, "Babe is the world's biggest stalker and you need to get a restraining order." Lastly, 13th of May 2018, today, at Mark Udovich tweeted, "Hey Charlene and Michael, I cannot believe I actually found my dream guy at your wedding. He works in finance law and he wants me to join him for a bubble bath. His name is Tom." Hashtag found my dream guy. In order for Charlene to say that yes, she has indeed found her dream guy, we have to take this as the truth in its purest form. Before Charlene chose Michael as a prospective partner, she would have done extensive research on him and he must have ticked a number of her boxes. He is tall, funny, has a successful career, and of course has a full head of hair. For now. Luckily for Michael though, he doesn't have a Google rating attached to him, because 1 or 2 poor reviews might have impacted on their future together. Let me elaborate. During a long drive, Charlene and Michael were desperate for some KFC. They were so desperate, in fact, that Charlene used Google Maps to find the nearest one that was en route to their destination. They were in luck, there was one close by. Once Charlene set the navigation to that KFC, she then read multiple online reviews and observed a 2 out of 5 star rating on Google. Charlene then decided to reroute Michael to a different KFC, which meant driving for an additional hour, because that KFC had better reviews. Apparently the 1-star review from some bogan stating that their chicken wasn't fresh enough warranted the extra 80-kilometre drive. Reflecting on this, I know that when I want to pollute my body with, pure filth and disrupt my chakras, I agree it must be fresh. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to take us all down memory lane to where it all began. Charlene first met Michael at Royal North Shore Hospital during her professional development year. Although they didn't date initially, their personalities meshed well together, and after several years of close friendship, their feelings for each other grew. Like all great romances, their love for each other began in the radiotherapy bunker. And eventually, just like the diseases they once treated together, their love spread uncontrollably. The sparks were flying, so Charlene decided to introduce Michael to the family. And I've always imagined this moment to be just like the formation of the Jackson 5. Because just like the Jackson 5, Michael would have been the only white one there. It's a Michael Jackson. As the years passed, not even distance could keep them apart. There was a time when Michael was living in Terrigal and Charlene was living in Beaconsfield, a 1.5-hour drive each way, which they would do almost every Friday, just so they could hang out on the weekend. A solid commitment to each other before the actual commitment, the engagement. Not many people know this, but Michael and Charlene have bent the truth about their engagement. They told us all that they got engaged on the 8th of September at the romantic Cabarita Beach, a 20-minute drive south of Tweeds Heads. However, they actually got engaged on the 23rd of July, almost 2 months prior, during a snowboarding trip with a group of friends to the snowy mountains. Let me explain. On the first day of snowboarding for Ryan, Avery, Lisa and I, was filled with the tears of joy at the sight of fresh powder. But for Charlene, it was filled with the sound of actual tears from Michael as he propelled himself face first down Front Valley. Michael managed to suffer a wrist injury which threatened his golf game, which meant an early retirement to his snowboarding career. However, Michael didn't want his limp-wristed antics to impact on the rest of the trip. So whilst the others went snowboarding on day 2, Charlene and Michael explored the local area. They ended up at the Yarrangobilly Caves, a network of caves, one of which is called the Glory Hole. If you don't believe me, Google it, just not on a work computer. Yarrango Billy partially derives its name from the Aboriginal word for teeth, an ancient reference to the stalactites of the cave. Charlene and Michael continue to explore the caves despite teeth and glory holes being a bad combination. Suddenly it dawned on him. It was the perfect moment. A ringless Michael got down on one knee in the bacteria-infested mud and popped the question. And here we are today, celebrating their love for each other. Upon reflection, caves are actually very romantic places. Since the dawn of man, caves were a place of courtship. A caveman would club an unsuspecting woman on the head and then drag her against her will to his cave. A move still used to this day by Harvey Weinstein. Many famous romances are associated with caves, such as Aladdin and Princess Jasmine, or Bin Laden and the US military. Cat and mouse. In any cases, regardless of the location, I think we can all agree that the outcome would have been the same. Charlene was definitely going to say yes, which is funny because I knew from the moment I met Michael that he was going to end up with Charlene, purely based on his gambling habits. Firstly, Michael loves an exotic. Secondly, Michael loves a nag. Thirdly, Michael loves a cascading win. And whether you see this or not now, every day with Charlene would be like hitting the jackpot. They really are the perfect quinella together. When Charlene and Michael locked in the 13th of May as their wedding day, I don't think they truly recognised its significance. For example, on this day in 1883, Greek-American pathologist Georgios Papanikolaou was born. He was famous for inventing the pap smear, making visits to the GP awkward for women since 1940. And in 1950, the incredibly talented musician Stevie Wonder was born. And in 1986, star of the Twilight movie franchise Robert Pattinson was born. To date, Twilight has taken over $3.3 billion at the box office worldwide. And I'm proud to say that I have not contributed 1 cent to that total. I haven't seen a single Twilight movie, and neither has Stevie. On this day, we're also fortunate enough to celebrate Mother's Day. There are definitely 2 proud mothers in this room tonight that have received an incredible gift. Teresa and Anna, seeing your children get married is a memory that will last in eternity. For the rest of us here tonight, the gift we gave our mothers for Mother's Day is our absence. A memory that will also last in eternity. To wrap things up, I have a few words of advice for the newly married couple. As the married men in the room know, arguing with a woman is like reading a software license agreement. At the end of the day, you skim over the important points and click I agree. That's because married men know that angry women are like hurricanes. Initially, they're loud and unpredictable, but when they leave, they take your house and your car. Remember, this goes both ways. All the married women in the room can agree, men are like public toilets. The good ones are always taken, and the rest are disgusting. Thank you all for listening to me tonight. The order of proceedings will be a toast from the fathers of the bride and the groom, followed by mains and desserts. There will be speeches from members of the bridal party and the groom divided amongst the meals to keep everyone interested. The speeches will be kept short and sweet, unlike this one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Drinks will be available all night. Please capture some memories using the Polaroid camera that's located here, and don't forget to sign the guest book. Wedding cake will be served later with tea and coffee. But before I go, if we could all please raise our glasses. So in true Polish style, to Charlene and Michael, 100 lat, na zdrowie, za piękne panie. We wish you a lifetime of happiness, good health and prosperity, and cheers to that. Thank you.
Ching. Ching, ching, ching.
Okay, so I'd now like to call upon the fathers of the bride